Since 2012, Compass Control has been a blank palette when programming a custom GUI, and it has led programmers and graphic designers alike to really get creative and demonstrate their creative powers. And we're really excited to show you because we have just been part of so many great and amazing jobs. There's so many stories to tell, and we hope that this will inspire your creative side as well. And see, when we go with the Programming Pro C3 level training, the first thing we ask you, the first thing we talk about is what makes a great GUI. Well, a graphic design, a graphic user interface, I should say, it's two-way. Okay, it's like two-way communication because it should tell you what is the status of the system and how can I manipulate the system. So it's almost like back in the days of keying in commands to a product and seeing the response, except for it's all done graphically. So this GUI that you hand over to your end user needs to satisfy those two goals. What is the status of the system and how can I manipulate the system? And in order to do that, we give you some really great tools. We call them GUI Elements. They are the image. Now, you could actually bring in any PNG that you'd like. Plus, we give you our image library of just thousands and thousands and thousands of images. Images of buttons, images of zones, images of graphic panels, and more. Icons, etc. Now, so you could bring in your own, as I mentioned, and images can actually do things. You could put events on an image, almost like a button. Of course, we have buttons for that as well, as you see. But you could even do things like set an image to be a touch panel. A touch panel. You may have seen the demos of our Converging Systems LED lighting control bidirectional module. If not, take a look at it on the webpage. And in that module, the user gets to drag their finger across a color picker graphic. And it's actually just a picture. And with a touch panel, you could say either by percentage of that image's dimensions, X and Y, horizontally and vertically, or by pixel, you're going to assign some X and Y value. Text, well, text is text, right? But we could even do fun stuff with text, like make it scroll through the screen like a stock ticker, or you could even of course, have that text be directly, have its value be directly dictated by the value of some variable, for example. So it could change what it says to you depending on the status of what's happening in the system. Buttons, we actually have 4 button states at Compass Control. Up and down, we all know about. The third, is like a status indicating state. We call it over. And the fourth is disabled, meaning you cannot press it. And you could assign an individual graphic for each of those states. You could even have different text for each state. And things could be located in different locations as well. Really, it's the possibilities are endless, but that is a sign of a mature control system, having 4 different button states. A lot of people ask that at the very early days of Compass Control. How many button states do you have? And they were very excited to hear our answer and have been doing quite well since then. A list. A list is the name of the element that allows you to drag your finger across the screen and swipe, if you will, left, right, vertically. Slider, on the other hand, is an advanced logical element, a volume slider. We demonstrated earlier in the C1 course the beer glass volume control slider. And, there are many control systems that still do not support sliders and other advanced logical elements, because if you think about it, those control systems have buttons like 0%, 25%, 50, 75, 100%. And the button has just one event on it, right? Set the volume level, for example, to 25%. A slider needs to be dynamic. It has one event on it. Set the volume level to X. And X is the value of what the slider stops at as you drag your finger. A group is just one single place to nest things, so they may be treated as one. For example, the list, if I swipe my finger from left to right, what happens is a number of things are going to move together. They're not all one element, but they may be within one group. And finally, multimedia. You can actually embed the web into your Compass Control iOS or Android device. You could view web pages that way. You can also view RTSP streaming video and HTML, I believe it is, streaming video formats, many streaming video formats, in fact. And in fact, you can also do a file load into the iPad of audio clips, video clips, for example, and store that in there and view it through our multimedia player. So it's really one of the finer points of Compass Control that, as far as something that puts us head to toe taller than the competition there, as far as our handling of that streaming video protocol.